This episode is brought to you by the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. Learn more at slashandcast.net.
And then let's clap at the same time.
Ready? Yay, we're doing it.
Yeah, I don't think that's close enough.
I think so. Yeah, if there's
That's
any
perfect.
way, I think if there's any way that we can make this any more professional, we should just both be wearing like Steven Spielberg hats. You know, like he always wears on his
Exactly.
set. Yeah. He always wears hats,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that his thing?
He does, and I changed my name so that now it just has those little leaves on either side of it. So I just always owe an award.
Like you've been awarded something at Cannes or
Yes,
Cons.
at Cons.
Yeah.
Cannes, which is 15.
It just makes me think of like Caesar salad and Caesar salad dressing.
Okay.
So if somebody's just like, oh, this movie won Cannes and it has like the little olive things around it, I'm just like, oh,
Right.
now I
'Cause
just
that's-
want a salad.
Because that's what that dude wore on his head before all of his friends stabbed the shit out of him.
Man, remember those days?
Oh man, remember when you could do that? You could just get away with it? It was amazing.
Oh boy, we can't
so
get
yeah,
political.
Let's talk about this show that we're doing. We're on a network now.
Yes, Slash and Cast Network.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like business that we could talk business after that about this, because I have not spoken to anyone since I signed a contract. But boy, oh boy, am I excited to be part of a group of people instead of just myself in a room.
Do you feel validated now? You feel like now it's all coming together? And what have you bought with your thousands of dollars that they sent you once you signed that contract?
Yeah, I immediately just covered my body in tattoos. But like
That's what
dumb
that is.
ones, like knee pads.
you got knee pads that tattooed on you?
Yeah. I got like a business card, just a random business card that I found. I got it tattooed on as a real estate agent.
Oh yeah, there you go, Deborah Fine. Ooh, let's call her up.
I'm more than okay. That was my goal from the beginning. This is a long game.
The long
doing
game. The first episode we've already revealed what the long game is.
Yeah. The long game is to get everybody as horny as possible. Speaking of horny, it's the middle of the summer, and Josh, I was reminded of something that happens every year, and we've been doing this a year, and so it's time for me to bring it back. FearBonerFest! FearBonerFest!
Every year it just sneaks up on you, just like mania boners.
What does
You just-
FearBonerFest mean? It just means that you get turned on by getting killed.
Yeah, it's just like I understand the exhilaration that comes with being afraid of things, and then somehow in those moments of tension and moments of, oh, am I gonna die? You're just like, ooh, there's like some weird sexual allure with that, and I get it. I think that's why people like come on roller coasters all the time.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I just made up like.
That's an amazing fact. Let's put that on the cap of a Snapple
Okay, good. I shouldn't
bottle.
even. We should just edit that out. Just be like, oh yeah, did you not know that that like whenever you go on a roller coaster, 95% of those people are having orgasms?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did know that. I
Yeah.
definitely read that.
They've got wet ass pussies. I feel like Bonerfest for me is a Fear Bonerfest for me is just kind of, you look in yourself and you're just kind of like, are there parts of me that I don't cater to enough that is this sexual dark place that I have, you know? Which is I think that there are a lot of people who do have those places and they don't really want to go to them.
No, a lot of people are afraid to go to them. I think they're not afraid. They're ashamed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're not here
yeah.
we're not here to shame anybody. Like that's
Hell no.
That's the point of the show. We're not shaming anybody here.
We're
It's
here
just-
to open things up, get a little dust off of it, put a little light on it, get it nice and juicy,
Yeah.
and see. Oh, look, everybody's got these. Look at
And then
these.
Cardi B writes a song about it.
Yeah, wet ass.
Wet.
Pussy.
I feel like if we can't sing it too much, or else we're gonna get sued by Cardi B.
Yes, I'm just excited to be noticed by Cardi B.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so FearBonerFest, so let me just real quick, it's still growing, I'm still understanding what it is and what it should be, but today's stories are specifically I just got 2 of them, 2 quick ones, 2 quick shots, and they are monsters. They are killers, and they're scary. So that's what we're gonna focus on. Ooh. So let's dive into one, and then the second in that order.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're doing it in that order. Oh, I've had the time of my life, and I can't get FearBonerFest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are diving into. This is my first. What is this from? Oh yeah, this is from movies. This is adult fan fiction.
Okay.
Is where it's coming from, and the story is called Steamy Fantasy by Predeliana. And we're just gonna bounce around because I feel like this is a little bit long, but we're just gonna dive in. Would you like to start?
I'll lead us in prayer. Sure.
Fantastic.
All right, here we go. I haven't done this in a while, so I gotta make sure I get my voice right. Christy had just become a witness to a terrifying, macabre scene of carnage when Jason Voorhees murdered Troy. Cold blade pierced his body so easily, like if it was made of some soft material, and then the true carnage began. Soft material. Pulling his machete out, Jason kicked Troy's body down and plunged the blade in it again, carving the body up and ferociously pulling the internal organs out and throwing them on the ground. Jason was obviously in a rage. Christy thought for a moment that she was going to faint, but she was much stronger than that. The whole scene was sickening, but she was glad nonetheless that the rascal died such a terrible death. Rascal.
Yeah,
In a few moments, Jason was done with Troy and then turned his attention to Christy. Oh boy. Okay. So we're going into Jason Friday the 13th territory.
Deep.
Here.
Yeah, we're going balls deep into it.
Jason is obviously in a rage. No one came to my birthday.
I ended up in a lake. Yeah. So is this? I'm actually just looking up Troy and Christy because I feel like I'm trying to figure out which if this is like specific, if it's from a specific one.
The Christies are related to those were the owners of the first camp.
But that's
the first movie.
But this is her first name, and Troy.
Oh, I see.
See, so it's like, but I don't know who. But Troy is definitely one of them.
I feel like in Friday the 13th, the names are so generic that it kind of really doesn't matter.
The only one I remember is Alice.
Alice. I mean, they don't have any like unique names like Herschel.
This is like a very involved kill. I feel like Jason is just like, he like chases, and then he just like stabs you, and then he's out. He's done, right? You would be able to tell me more.
From my knowledge, Jason is mainly he just kind of like kills people and then he just kind of fucks off. That's all he does. But there's also the whole in the later series where he would kill people and he kind of like stage them, like, you know, put him in the woods somewhere, like in between trees, you know, and maybe like doing like funny little poses like mannequins, like modeling jeans or something in the mall. So yeah, so I don't know, like he's a man of the land. So I think what he does mainly is he whenever he murders these people, he tends to kind of make them a part of his environment, which is really weird to say. Okay. Because let's also remember, this is a dude who kept his mother's severed head in a shack.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe he's just one of a mindset of like, I don't want anything to go to waste. You know, he's kind of like my mom during. Yeah, he's like my mom during Christmas. She's just like, save everything. I'm not like we're gonna eat all the gravy. Just save everything. Okay.
Christy stood still and watched the monstrous man slowly approaching her. Fresh blood was dripping from his machete, a deadly weapon that took so many people's lives. For a minute or two, Christy and Jason Voorhees stood silent, staring into each other's eyes, although it was impossible for her to see his eyes through the black eye holes of the mask, especially in darkness. Nothing broke the silence between them. Only his deep breathing was heard in the night. Jason, she whispered. Kill. Fuck.
Come.
Jason, she barely whispered. It was so quiet that Christy wasn't sure that she even heard it. But he did. Jason tilted his head, then dropped the machete and walked to the woman before him. Christy made no attempts to run or even move. So he grabbed her by the neck and pressed to a nearby tree. The proximity of his creepy-looking mask to her face would have instilled animalistic fear into her, but not this time. The way he pressed her to the tree, the way he dominated over her. Instead of being afraid, Christy felt herself getting sexually aroused. The more she ran her glance over his massive form, the stronger her desire for him grew. The only thing that was left now was to make him want her more than anything else.
Yeah.
So now they're going to make out. That's kind of fun.
Is she going to have to... I want to know if she's going to make him wear the mask. If, like, that's a part of the... if that's a part of the seduction. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You could, like, kiss them. I mean, it's the hockey mask, yeah? So...
Yeah.
Is there like a mouth place that you can stick your little tongue in there and get a little?
No, it's like a couple of little holes in it. It's breathing holes. It protects the whole face, including the teeth.
Okay, so this is like a little social distance. This is like good for the times.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Then we try to have sex without putting our mouths on each other.
Do you think that like after reading this, there'll be people who are just going to be like, man, tonight when I get down, I'm going to ask him to put on a Jason mask. Or I want to know how many people have worn a Jason mask during sex.
Oh my God, 1 million. I'm sure of it.
Oh, really?
I am positive of it. I am positive that it's either just a hockey mask or specifically a hockey mask in memory of Jason.
I made my dick look like the mask from Scream once.
Yeah.
Just put a little hood on it.
I mean, every time I have sex, I wear like the bag mask from Trick or Treat. But that's just, I mean, that's not even a horror thing. That's just, I just don't want people to know who I am.
Yeah,
and it's not because I don't think that I'm bad looking. It's just, I don't want people knowing you, like, remembering and being like, oh, you're that girl from that thing. Oh, I've seen you. And it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to bump into somebody on the train. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like, it's bag mask. And then I can live my life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Same on my vagina. Bag mask. I don't want anybody recognizing it.
Absolutely. No, I get it. All through college, like I did kind of the opposite, so people couldn't tell it was my dick. I'd wear like the RoboCop suit, but not the helmet. So
okay,
it's crazy. It cost me a lot of money, which is why
just
I'm
up to the neck.
Right
you were RoboCop
just up to the neck.
To the neck?
Yeah, that was
Sweet.
it. That's all I could afford. I couldn't afford the helmet.
I once told a guy I was meeting for a first date. He was like, "I'm going to be wearing a red flannel shirt," and I was like, "I'll be dressed as a gorilla, but just up to the neck." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I think it's like he either didn't listen or he didn't get that I was trying to be funny. But he didn't react, which I was like, all right, well, this isn't gonna.
You should have shown up wearing the gorilla suit.
I should have. I don't have one, but I think I'm gonna start doing that.
And he's just like, well, what's with the gorilla suit? And then you're just like, because I fucking told you over text, you.
How are you going to know it's me in this, in this bar that we're in that is, I'm never going to go on a date again. What am I talking about? It's a pandemic, guys. What are we going to, like, meet outside in front of the laundromat and, like, stand 6 feet apart and wave at each other? What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just going to take this time to work on myself.
Okay, I think that's a really good idea. I think that's a perfect idea to do it. And then figure out what makes you freaky. Although if you can only come while riding roller coasters, you're kind of fucked. I get it, but
yeah,
I don't know. But I don't necessarily disagree with dressing up during sex. Like that's not a bad thing at all.
No.
Yeah.
Do you mean as characters?
Man, I don't know. Depends on the character. You know, it's not like I don't think that like I'm never gonna like get down and be like, hold on 1 second, let me get into character. And like you're just like, yeah, baby, yeah, it's me, Austin Powers. Even though that was a really great Austin Powers.
That was a good Austin Powers. Yeah, I don't think, have I? No, I've never done like that kind of role play where it's like I'm a paramedic and you fell
Yeah.
down. Let me help you. You know what? I've never done that. Although maybe. I mean, I'm saying it like I'm making fun of it, but I think that it's kind of hot.
During my beginning period, I would sneak into this girl's her house, because she was still living with her parents, and we would play like Pizza Man, you know?
Uh-huh.
And she'd be like, "Oh, is the pizza here?" I'm like, "Yeah, the pizza's here." And it just made no sense. It was just kind of like, all right, this is kind of some fun shit that we're doing.
Oh, that's fun.
I think it just
I'm sorry.
it gives you like, you're just kind of like, all right, you're gonna be silly with me. All right, how silly can we push this? Or what else can we get away with?
It's like you just don't want it to get like cringe, where one person's taking it really serious and the other person's like having fun with it. But I did one time. I do remember I did I lost a bet against a guy I was in a relationship with, and so I had to give him a massage, and so I like made it a whole thing. I like bought things and did outfits.
Oh wow, whoa, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Was he expecting that, or is that a part of the deal?
No, he was like, it was just like I amped it up.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean that's sort of role playing a little bit. I was a little, but not really. I don't know.
It's always. I think it's always interesting. I guess in the context of this story, like how, kind of like death and also like sharp objects come into play as far as like the involvement of the foreplay goes. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's a whole kink of predator prey where it's one person just chasing the other person in the forest. I knew a guy there was a girl who asked him to do that, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'll do it around the living room, but we're not going to the forest to do that because that's not safe for me.
Going to the fucking woods so I can chase you around.
She wanted to be like you're an actual monster. It was kind of fun. I was like, tell me all about it and please do it, and then tell me about it.
Yeah.
I would never do this because I'm too much of a fraidy cat, but I would. It's like I have to be with someone I absolutely trust, and I cannot have any variables. But like, yeah, she was just like, I just really want you to like chase me and I want to just be really scared. So it's like a fear boner, I guess.
Yeah.
Bless.
It's like I think that after going to haunted houses is when that happens a lot too, right? Because their adrenaline's going and shit.
Oh yeah, blood's going everywhere, like pumping everywhere,
yeah.
but also dripping everywhere. You know what I mean?
But also like going into your dick and making it hard.
Making it hard.
Making it hard like a stone cold buck. Christy went through all the possible options in her mind quickly and decided that the best way was to start slowly. She lifted up one of her knees so that it was right between Jason's legs and started moving it, thus rubbing his crotch seductively. Thank God it's seductively, because if not, it would have just hurt. Jason tensed when he felt her leg touching the place that was long forgotten, and that touch was pleasant to say the least. The woman's leg continued massaging there for some amount of time, making Jason close his good eye and let out a guttural growl. Christy watched his reaction and smirked. It looked like that he was enjoying it. Well, it was only for the best. It was only for the best.
Well, that's all for the best. Yay!
Jason felt heat in his body rise and his pants getting tight when Christy's limb was moving. She finally decided to take the courage and replace her leg with her hand. And in the moment, she took her leg away from Jason's crotch. He snapped it back into reality, only to see her slender hands unzipping his pants and releasing his already stiff member that was aching for freedom all this time.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as her glance fell on his manhood, Christy's eyes went wide. Jason noticed that and looked down at himself. He was rather large, wasn't he?
Oh.
And he looked down and he said, "Huh. Yeah, I am pretty big, aren't I?"
Oh my God, I didn't even notice. This is kind of fun. I'm kind of enjoying this a little bit. Let's really quick. I just wanted to point out too that we've talked about this before about like Jason and Michael Myers specifically, but like a lot of like murderers, how like some murderers are very like sexually motivated, but like these guys are like the ultimate incels, right? So it's like,
I think so,
here they
yeah.
are having sex for the first time. I'm assuming for the first time. I don't know. It's interesting. So it's like, how's he going to react? I'm excited to see.
Jason, I think Jason probably still is a virgin. He's been living in the woods all on his own. I mean,
he's definitely a virgin.
Yeah, no one's out there. I mean, what else are his options other than finding a sex worker that's nearby and being like, wearing the hockey mask. He's just like, I just want this to happen. And she's just like, take off the mask. He's like, no, the mask stays on.
She's like, all right, well, I'll put one on too. And then she puts on like one of those, like the Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a lot of plastic banging together.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's a bunch of plastic. It's like the sound of like when you're a kid and you're play fighting with action figures and you just hear that plastic slap against each other.
Quack, 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 quack.
All right,
I'm gonna grab it.
You just hear, yeah.
Okay. Christy raised one of her. Thank you. Christy raised one of her eyebrows at the sight of his member. He sure was larger than her previous boyfriend, but if Jason could control himself, then with such an impressive organ, he would be capable of extraordinary things. Before getting to the main part, Christy thought it would be only nice to give him more pleasure with hands. When her small hand wrapped around his penis, Jason thought it couldn't get better than that. He released her neck, holding her now by the shoulder to make sure she didn't attempt to move away. Christy had no such intentions, and she started moving her hand along the entire shaft of his member. Meanwhile, her second hand was busy unbuttoning her jeans and sliding them down. It wasn't that easy to do with one hand, but at the moment, there was no other choice. As soon as her jeans were off her legs, the panties also fell down to her ankles. She was already wet down there and ready for him. And now, the only wish that had filled her mind was to feel him inside her. So she eventually stopped massaging his male parts, making Jason tilt his head. As he wasn't a talkative type, this gesture was supposed to mean the question, why did you stop? Before he managed to grab her hand and put it back on his member, Jason noticed that the young woman before him had no pants on. At first, he wondered when she managed to take them off, but considering that he was lost in his own pleasure from her actions, he might have missed this moment. Anyway, Jason knew what he had to do now. He had seen those stupid teens do it many, many times.
That is
You know
true.
what I like about this right now? Is this is one of the first stories in a long time where the chick is into it. From go. I'm like,
from Jump Street.
Yeah, right from Jump Street, the chick is like, I want this, I'm into it. I realize that there are risks involved, but you know what? I could take care of myself.
If this is like Jason's first time too, so this is also going to kind of influence his future in sexual conquest. So I'm just imagining now the small hands on his big member. Like now he's just gonna want women with like really small hands. Like the smaller the hands, the better. I think that's it. Jason's just like, how big are your hands?
Let me see those hands real quick.
The hands. They're not small enough. Christy looked at her soon-to-be mate and wondered what he was going to do. Jason didn't make her wait long. He spun her around so fast she was facing the tree, supporting her weight against it with her hands. Holding her hips tight, Jason filled her up in one rough movement.
Ooh.
Christy clenched her teeth from stinging pain as it was rather unexpected, but his member stretched her insides to the limits. Yes, to the limits!
Take it to the limit!
Take it!
Work up for a limit, cause I'm taking
one more time. How many dad songs have "Take It to the Limit" in it? I want to know.
Take it to the limit, cause I got no limits. Ford truck.
Jason in turn let out another growl, this time 2 times louder. Now he finally understood why the teens liked this so much. He discovered a new feeling that he had never known in his life. Jason had no idea that such pleasure was even possible. If he had an opportunity, he even wouldn't mind experiencing this every day, dude.
Every day?
Every day. It's pretty awesome. These thoughts aroused him even more than he already was, and Jason began moving his hips, enjoying the feeling of her wet cavern in his most sensitive part. Wet cavern.
No!
Oh my God.
No!
Oh, wet cavern. That's the worst place to go to in Missouri. I don't care what you say. Christie's half expected him to delve instantly into barbaric copulation, but lucky for her, Jason maintained the average speed for some time, thus allowing her to adjust to his size and get used to the feeling of him inside her. The more Christie felt him thrusting, the less painful it became until the unpleasant feeling vanished totally and fully. Even if it wasn't her first time, the feeling she was now experiencing with the Crystal Lake Killer was new to her. Sweat ran down her face while her entire body heat increased with every movement of his hips. Unable to hold anymore, Christie allowed herself to let out lustful moans that combined with Jason's growls in a bizarre cacophony. Just like... Jason increased the tempo, hitting her sweet spot with every thrust, and both participants of this unusual mating act were so close to the feeling that could truly be called euphoria. They did not have to wait long until the tightening feeling in Christie's stomach finally snapped, and she climaxed with a loud cry that echoed through the night forest. That's when Jason reached his orgasm and released his seed into his mate's body with a loud roar. Get it out of the sky! Christie was deeply lost in bliss, breathing heavily, and her eyes seeing stars while darkness engulfed her. Wow. Okay. All right. I get it. All right. Cold water splashed on her skin while Christie recovered from the orgasm that swallowed her whole. She opened her eyes and realized she was still at her home in the same shower cubicle. Shower cubicle? Oh, at the camp. Okay. All right, I get it. The water was already cold and helped her to refresh, but not for long. Turning the shower off, she stepped outside of the cubicle and dried off with a soft towel. Christie was surprised about how far her fantasy went. She sure didn't expect herself to feel such strong desire for that monster of a man.
Oh,
I've been called a monster.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
No.
But a fantasy will remain a fantasy. But that meant nothing of this kind would ever happen to her in real life. One thing she knew for sure. She would never set her foot on Crystal Lake again. Whatever it takes. There might not be another lucky chance. Besides, Christie also knew that she would never be able to see the forest the same way she did before. She will always think that Jason Voorhees is out there. Always watching. Always waiting. Always coming.
Come.
Taking it to the limit. Come.
That's actually pretty hot, I think. I'm kind of mad. I'm a little mad that it was just a fantasy. I think that it was just like a masturbatory fantasy.
It seems like, but I feel like in some of the end of a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, it usually cuts to like the final girl in the hospital, and she's just like, "What happened where's Jason?" They're just like, "We didn't find any boy."
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know.
I get it. I think it's just like it's more interesting if it's real, but whatever. I thought it was I enjoyed the story a great deal. There's a treasure trove at movies.adults-fanfiction.org.
I can't wait to read their About Schmidt fanfiction. I'm a big Schmidt fan.
Yeah. Well, you're
I'm
a heavy Schmitter.
I'm a heavy Schmitter, especially after a lot of cheese.
Yeah. Do you respect this? Do you respect this? The writing?
I do, actually. There's a lot in this that's really, really cool. There's something also that I thought I want to actually talk about. There's a moment where they're just like, Jason never knew that this was something that was so pleasurable, and he can't wait to do. If he could, he would do this every day. Yeah. So it was so funny because at one point I was having a discussion with my significant other, sure. and they asked me how many times how often I masturbate, and I was like, once a day, and I've never seen someone be so shocked, surprised, and kind of turned on in the same look, mm-hmm. Just because it's just one of those things where just like, oh wow, is there something wrong with you? It's like, no, I just
that's it. I think all guys do,
like jerking
right?
off.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know what the average is. I don't know what the average batting average is for all the men in the United States. So, I mean, right now, most likely, with all these men at home, they are probably beating off like 23 hours of the day.
Oh, yeah. I can't. I mean, I'm home. I mean, I'm not like an everyday type, but when I'm bored, it's something to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a way to take up 15 minutes.
It's that little monkey brain that just is like, I don't have anything to do. All right, well, this is here. And then you just start going at it. You go at it with a will, and you take it to the limit.
You take it to the limit.
I want you to take out your oil, Derek, and go at it with a will. That's how you got to spice it up, too, for yourself. You got to dress up like Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood. and talk to yourself like him.
And then just drink each other's milkshakes until you're done.
Yeah.
Drink that milkshake. Yeah. So that was Steamy Fantasy. So I guess now the title actually makes a lot more sense because she was showering and getting off, which I can't. I mean, I can't do it in the shower. I mean, I guess I could, but like, whatever. I just feel like I got to get out because I'm taking up the bathroom and I have roommates.
Oh, so your concern is not for like comfortability. It's just the just being polite with your time in the bathroom.
Yeah, and just like
Okay.
I like to take my time with myself, I guess.
Yeah, you really like to take yourself out. That's really nice.
I take myself out. I romance a little bit. I put on a nice outfit. I put music on.
Put some music on.
I don't do any of that stuff. No.
Oh yeah.
But I do close the door and whatever. Anyway, you and I don't have to know that.
Give yourself
we don't have to know these
some
things
privacy.
about each other. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I've been to your apartment, Sarah, and I'm quite sure that you've told me many a times that you've there are places in the apartment where you're just like, yeah, probably.
Did it here? Did it there? Probably. Yeah.
Did it there? Fucked here? Fucked there?
Yeah. There's a lot of cords coming out of my side table drawer. Just don't pull on any of them.
Yeah. Random candy somewhere.
Let's jump into story 2. FearBonerFest. I have not read this one. I didn't read either one. I like that last one though, but I have not read this one. Hopefully, it's pretty good. Can you see you can see the screen? Sorry.
What do you think would be your ultimate like fear boner? Do you think? Do you have it? Do you have a scenario, or do you think you could pull one out?
Oh, I mean, I like horror. Like I absolutely see and appreciate the sort of like conglomeration of like sex and horror. So yeah, absolutely, all of it. I think like probably maybe it would be for me. It would be like the horniest, like not. Like the scary / horniest would be like me in the bottom of a pile of like really horny zombies. Because I don't like zombies as a monster, but I like them as like if that's what's going to happen. And it's just like,
what do you mean?
Like zombies just like being at the bottom
Sex?
of the pile. Yes. Is that what you're asking? Is like what my horror fantasy is?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm thinking of like is like in Return of the Living Dead. Did you ever see Return of the Living Dead?
Probably.
There's the whole little graveyard dance sequence where Trash is like talking about being eaten alive by a bunch of old men, and that's yeah. So that's why she's like starts taking off her clothes and shit. But yeah, it'd be something like that where you're just kind of like, all right, I can get into this. I mean, but I guess you'd have to also understand that there's safety in it and that you wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah, it would have to be with, somebody you trusted or that like you were like also had like the antidote right away.
Right.
But yeah, as far as I mean for me it would have to be something primal. It wouldn't be like aliens, and I don't think I want to be eaten by old men. But I think it would definitely be like something super primal. Maybe a werewolf. Maybe like but that's like that's like right on the edge of fucking a dog, which I would never do or think about. But it's like if it's like a guy and he's like changing and it's like right in then maybe. What about you?
Yeah. An unloaded gun to my head. No. I would say,
That you know of.
I think that it would I hope, fingers crossed.
Spin.
Someone's going to come. Spin it. I think it would probably be like a Dracula's Brides kind of thing, you know? Because I
Just
think
like a
that,
sexy lady?
Well, like, because Dracula's Brides are very, like, they claw at you and they, like, are about to bite your neck. I think I always had a fear, like, I would always get bitten in the neck when I was sleeping.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So I think kind of the big thing would just be, like, I love it. I also really do love it when, you know, you get into it, you take it to the limit, as they say in certain stories, and somebody just, like, comes right up to your neck and they're about to bite into it, but they just breathe really heavy into it. I love that shit. Like, I
like a bite. I like some bites. I actually like big, not like a hard bite, not like a tooth bite, but like I don't mind.
Not like you're taking a bite of a Big Mac or something.
No, thank you. Don't break the skin. Don't leave a mark.
Stop trying to eat my neck.
Stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biting thing. Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, but I think maybe the risk also of just like somebody biting my neck and me losing blood or something, like that's kind of a scary thing for me.
Yeah, that for me is scary in like an unsexy way, but I get it. Like for me, because I don't like vampires, but I would say I would definitely say Wolfman. So yeah, you could do vampire, I'll do Wolfman, and then Frankenstein can watch.
He always watches.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
All right. So speaking of fear boners, you want to dive into this next one?
Yeah, this is gonna be cool.
This is a short shot. I found this on Wattpad.
I think it's
I'm probably
Wattpad,
gonna get in trouble for reading these, but I also like whatever. Come after me. I have no money. Yeah. So this is just the beginning. I think this is just the beginning. This is just a taste of this story.
Yeah.
That was last updated in 2015. So that's fine. Okay, let's not say the title of it. Let's just dive in, and then and it'll be revealed. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll lead us in prayer. All right. Okay. Anika was fed up with this. She was tired of feeling horny all day and never being able to satisfy herself. She marched into the bathroom and placed both hands on either side of the sink, giving herself a glare in the mirror. She was gorgeous. Dark eyes that would never need makeup, chocolate skin, short and curvy. And it was about 12 in the morning and she was woken up by another wet dream. Ooh. She had tried to touch herself, but it just didn't feel like she wanted to it. I don't know. The frustration was just building up and she needed something to distract her. A thought came to mind about an urban legend she heard about earlier that week. A giggle erupted from her as she thought about what she was going to do. Candyman, she waited. Candyman. 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 She hesitated. The anticipation was building up. Candyman. After seconds of holding her breath, she sighed. Crossing her arms, she began to turn away. Then the lights turned off. She quivered in the dark with excitement or fear. She wasn't sure. A pair of hands slid down her back, causing her to shiver. There was a glow coming from behind her that lit up the mirror. There she saw the most gorgeous man in existence. His skin was porcelain white, and his eyes an icy blue, all topped with dark black curls. He smiled seductively, watching her in the mirror. She stared at him, stunned. It was Tim Allen! You know how the legend goes, right, baby? She couldn't manage a response. He chuckled and continued. You called out my name 5 times, and I appear breathing down your neck. Ooh. He smiled bitterly and bit down on her neck gently. See? His eyes flashing up to catch hers in the mirror. Her lips were slightly parted and her face heated. He licked up the side of her neck and purposely moaned in her ear, telling her that she tasted sweet like candy. He turned her around to face him and pushed her back up on the sink, spreading her legs, and her pussy was the candy corn. That's not part of the story, I just made that up. She grasped as he began to pull off her pink panties. With his nail, he drew a line down the middle of her top, cutting it in half. Her perky breasts invited him in, and he sucked and kissed each one, lapping at her neck until he made his way to her soft lips. He pulled her into a passionate kiss, pressing her back against the mirror. He slowly began to reached her arms around his neck to hold him. His erection sprang to life. Boing. He hadn't been summoned in centuries, let alone been touched. This woman was God. She gasped against his lips as she felt it press against her stomach. Wow. Yeah, do it.
Grab it. She murmured, licking his bottom lip hungrily. He was in ecstasy. Grunting, he pressed one arm against the back of the mirror, deepening their kiss. Suddenly he thrust into her, making her scream as his 12-inch cock pounded in and out of her. He fucked her with inhuman speed, causing her to come 3 times in a row. He wasn't finished with her, though. Swiftly, with immortal grace, he pulled her up, fucking up into her as she drowned in pleasure. Moans filled the tight space, and soon he came inside of her, and it was bees!
Oh no, Beacom!
No!
Oh no, Beacom!
She shivered and gasped as his hot cum filled her. He fucked her raw, and when she finally opened her eyes, he was gone.
Wow.
Candyman, Candyman.
The Candyman can 'cause he fills your pussy and the bees come out.
Bazoo! I should have read this story. I'm a little put out by the fact that Candyman is white in this. I don't care for that.
That's really weird, right?
That's not the, I mean, I guess maybe like if you're talking about just the urban legend, maybe
but
you
like
could be whatever you want him to look like, but the
but
movie is pretty, I mean, the story is, yeah.
Right. I mean, unless if like they're supposed to mean like this is Gene Wilder from like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Which I would totally fuck, like young Frankenstein era Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah.
Ruin me.
You
Daddy.
hit it? You
Love
hit
it.
Really?
Yeah. Hard.
I guess so. I guess there's something about him. But this is just like, why is he white? I don't understand it. It is very weird. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, but we'll put that aside for now. I really love the idea that I could just say something into a mirror and have a quick little fuck buddy.
Man.
Who disappears after.
Yeah, that's called Tinder.
Just fill me up with bees and fuck off.
Then fuck off, dude. I think that it's also really interesting that this guy he hasn't been summoned in centuries, and the one thing he's called upon to do is to have sex with a woman.
Oh yeah, and he hasn't touched anybody. That's the hottest. This is not FearBonerFest. That's just the hottest thing that I can kind of think of is whenever I watch like, what is that extreme, like the show about Alaskan crab ice fishing where they're on those ships. Yeah. What's that called?
I love that porno. I think it's actually called Alaska fishing or something.
It's like crab fishing, whatever it is.
It's called crab
whatever
legs.
it is. They go crab legs, crab legs, NCIS crab legs. They go out. It's like these guys. It's like these burly dudes, and they all have flannel shirts on, and they all get on a boat, and they're gone for like months, and then they come back, and they're all tired and sad, and they got a bunch of money, and they want to fuck. And that to me, I'm like,
yeah. That
to me is kind of like not that I'm into desperation, but just like the idea of someone just being like, this must happen now. I don't know. There's something very hot to me about that.
Do you think is it seeing them every so often, and then it's just like a small window where you can fuck this person?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know why that there's something just so exciting to me about someone who just has been anticipating it, and like that's like to be someone's like relief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then have your cum be bees.
Yeah, and then it's just you just got to take a lot. It just epinephrine. What's the EpiPen?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Just masturbating with an EpiPen. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know why that.
This is always like seeing stuff like this. Like, there's more of this. Like, I don't know how much more of this there is, but we read a good amount of what happens in this story. like we pretty much watched or we read a whole lot of just this one sexual encounter. So I can't wait to see what the rest of the book has in store for Candyman and Anika. So she was horny, and she.
Other stories are Crilly and Isha, something called Elle, and Daddy's Baby Girl.
I feel like
number 41 in Daddies.
It's a daddy genre?
It's a daddy thing, yeah.
Ooh.
Definitely a daddy thing.
I've been called daddy once. And it's never happened again, and I feel like I because I don't know if I could handle the responsibility of being a daddy.
Yeah. We've talked about this before. I say it all the time. It's my favorite thing.
I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool. It's only once in a blue moon that I get called daddy. And I get shocked. It shocks me. I kind of get a smirk on my face about it.
I usually do it. It's usually only a bedroom thing, but one time I was like hanging out. I was on a date with someone that I was dating, and it was just very random. And I said and it slipped out when I was thanking him for something completely pedestrian, and I was like, "Oops."
You said thank you, Daddy?
Yep.
Oof.
I'm not soon going to say it out loud. I'm going to cut all this out. This is too personal. Anyway. Let's move on.
So somebody called.
If you could say something 5 times in the mirror and make it appear, and it could make you come and then disappear, what would it be?
What would the chant be?
Yeah, like what would you like want to have appear?
Oh man.
Natalie Portman?
No, I don't know. Like she's smart, but I don't think I don't think I deserve her. That's so funny. In my fantasies, I'm like, no, she's too smart for me. I'm just a big dum-dum. I think it would just be like, I would summon. There's this beautiful. What's her name? Her name is Lani Punani. She's a porn star, and she's just like a well-formed lady, and she's got this big black hair, and I love it, and she's just super freaky. So I'm just kind of like, I'd have to supernaturally call someone who was my type of freak in the mirror. So, and it would be her. I don't know what I'd say. I'm sure I would just say come, and then she just shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine, I mean, I just like there's like a person I have a crush on that I would say his name 3 and then hopefully it would be him, but I'm not gonna say that out loud. Yeah. No secret crushes. No, it would probably be, I don't know, Mark Ruffalo.
Ooh.
Mark Ruffalo as Hulk though.
He's dressed up in the motion cap suit.
Yeah, and he's also like 10 stories tall.
Oh, dude,
I would fuck the Hulk. Losing. I have sexual feelings toward the actual Hulk. And
what do you think? What do you think what is the reasoning for the attraction to the Hulk? What is the attraction to the Hulk?
Just because I feel like I've talked about this before, but he's just like big and kind of nonverbal, which is weird because I'm very verbal. Like sexually, I like talking. I'm like a pretty big chatterbox, but like.
I think that's maybe just you just want to be the dominant one in that relation, like that moment.
No, I've never wanted to be the dominant one in any relationship. No,
I want the Hulk with Mark Ruffalo.
No, with the Hulk, I want to like be held up and like he's got like that barely contained rage, and then it's like he's like smashing things, but he's not smashing me. There might be something deeper. We don't need to delve, but I think he's just, he's big and muscly and but then he's also like quiet and inside he has a tender heart. So would
you settle for Lou Ferrigno?
No, thank you. That's
not even okay.
That's not my genre. Yeah, it's just not my genre. It's just not my thing. There's nothing against him, and he was well loved.
I think he's still alive. I think so. Oh yeah, at the time, yeah. I don't know if he's still alive. Is he still alive? Let me see.
I don't know.
Lou Ferrigno.
Because I'm not into
American actor.
I'm not into like big beefy guys. I'm not into like musclehead guys. Like I don't like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so it's like that's not what I like about it. I don't know. I feel like I just need to like talk to a therapist about it.
You got all the time in the world.
We have all... We've actually been going almost an hour.
Oh, cool. Okay. We can cut a lot of this out anyway, so...
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
I'll trim it.
I feel, I don't know. I think I always feel like my fantasies are pretty lame compared to other people's. Like if I did have a fictional character that I would call upon to be to take it to the limit, I would have to say, ooh, I don't know why. I just thought about it. It would be Julianne Moore's character from Boogie Nights.
Yeah. Almost same.
Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty stunning.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
I'd let her fill me with bees.
just be in me. What? It's okay, I'm fixed. Just be in me. That's what it is. Instead of saying come, it's being.
Just be in me.
Just be in me. What? What? Just do it. It's okay, I'm fixed. Don't worry. God, she's so good in that movie. She's hot too. Oh my God. What's her character's name in that movie? Amber? No. Oh boy, what's the name? Amber Waves. That's right.
Amber Waves.
Man, I got to rewatch Boogie Nights now.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't have that I don't know that women have is like favorite porn stars.
Maybe they just don't want to like say out loud who they are. Maybe we
don't talk about it. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, because I feel like it's kind of like being a hipster. It's like, I don't know if you've heard of this person, but her name is Cynthia Dix-a-Lot. And just like, no, I haven't heard of her. It's like, well, she's like my favorite porn star. So, Brianna Olsen's really good too. I'm going through all my porn star favorites right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. Now we're getting into my porn. My porn selections. I feel like right now during the quarantine too, it's kind of like I'm kind of venturing off into different genres of porn, because for a while I'm just like, okay, I'm doing this now, and then for a while we had the daughter stepdad genre, yeah, which is kind of weird. I didn't really get into it, but now it's like I like the porn. This is really weird. The pornos where they're clearly shot in a hotel room, like, because they just look super cheap. Like they rented out a hotel room and they just go ahead and they just fucked for like an hour and they filmed it. And I was
we've talked about though, like my favorite for a while, and not anymore because I can't handle it anymore. But was when it's just like homemade. Yeah. Where they're like the Goldbergs is playing in the background and it's like kind of messy.
Yeah,
and there's like a cat walking around.
Yeah, I'm not watching a porno if it's not directed by Terrence Malick.
I hate when they're super produced. I'm like, there's nothing fun about this for me. These people
it's so weird because with pornos it's like we have to show the money. It's like, no, you don't. Just show two really good looking people boning. That's all you need to do. Yeah, man.
Just care about it, be into it, and just consent to it.
Because I do know that there are people in LA who rent out their mansions for porno shoots.
Oh, those are fun. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's a good way to make money, but also it's like, if I were a porn producer, it's like, fuck, like, why do we have to shoot in a really nice mansion? Like, let's just, do Bang Brothers. Bang Brothers filmed all their shit in a van.
I like the shabbier, like, more vintagey ones, and I keep waiting to recognize like Ripley Greer or like Champion Studios in the background.
Famous New York City rehearsal studios.
Yeah, just like, I coached improv in that room.
You see like
1,000%.
You see like somebody like open the door and they're just like, I'm sorry, we have the room in like 5 minutes, so I just want you guys. It's like we paid for the time, so
just as they're closing the door, woof.
Oh boy,
hot in there.
Don't go in there, to quote Ace Ventura.
Everybody who's not New York is not going to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know, absolutely.
But all comedians in New York are going to know when I talk about Champions and the Franken chair.
I'm always like, I think the reason I love FearBonerFest is because it reminds me so close to like Halloween. Because Halloween, I'm just like, I don't know. There's something about it where I'm just like, yeah, there's a little bit of mischief going on, and it kind of just gets me a little bit more excited than normal.
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
what
so, like I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for Halloween, but there's like midsummer. That is like camp. Gimme like scary movies in the middle of the summer. Like that's. I don't know if it's called anything, but it's like all that summer camp horror. That's what I want, and I have not watched any good horror in a minute, so I'm a little pissed.
Oh, dude, yeah. I rewatched Sleepaway Camp last week, a couple weeks.
Oh
ago.
yeah, they're all on Shudder.
Oh yeah, and they're all
Sponsor
great.
us, Shudder.
Have you ever gone? Have you ever gone to overnight camp? Were you rich enough?
Yes, but no. I went to I went to camp. I went to a camp when I was like 10. I went to like a camp upstate, but it was like for like needy kids and kids with disabilities. And then I went to, I don't have a disability, but my mom does, and so I went to her camp. And then I went to like Jesus camp for a bunch of years with my cousin's family.
So no one was boning at the Jesus camp.
No. Although I did like meet a boyfriend out of that, and we like made out a little bit, but
Sweet.
I didn't get fingered.
Yeah, and
Just
it ain't
kissing.
camp if you ain't got fingered.
You know, right?
That's the whole thing. Yeah, I only had day camp, so it was really hard for me to do much during that time. Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to do camp because that was one of the reasons I wanted to go. I'd be like, ooh, maybe we can go out and like the woods are mysterious, and then we can make out and shit. And then
see, that's what a lot of good like Jesus-y like growing up like uber Catholic like doing CYO stuff. There were always like overnight weekends where they would try to program you, like make you stay up all night and stuff, and fingering happened.
Ooh, yeah, man.
It was
I'm
not
all
with
for
me,
it.
but so. Thank you so much for listening to FearBonerFest 2020. Ew, ew.
Yeah, Sunday, FearBonerFest.
Check us out on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm Snowak, SNOWAK.
Josh the Mayor 1 on Twitter. Find me on Instagram, Krebstar Nightwalker. Slashing Cast. I can't. I'm so excited right now about that.
Let's
we're gonna rock
talk
this
about
shit.
this. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like part of something, and I haven't been part of anything in a minute, and it's amazing, and everybody's so cool. I don't know why they let me do it.
Get
all right,
that
thanks so much,
pussy.
everybody. Yes, we love everybody. Thank you so much.
Go.